Hello, viewers. Welcome back to our new segment on the apocalypse of idiots. So, my first question for this segment goes this way: what does being an idiot really mean here?
Being an idiot simply means you stop thinking. So basically, you don't ask questions, you just take information at face value, and yeah, you just stop thinking. So, yes, you can be educated, but education gives you information, but curiosity keeps the mind active.
So, you just like accepting whatever everybody says without you even thinking about
I
it
won't
for
say
a second.
whatever everybody says, but it's like accepting whatever people of certain caliber says without you thinking of it. Accepting whatever an influencer says, accepting whatever your mentor says without thinking about it for yourself to see this worked for my mentor. Is it going to work for me? You know, my mentor is abroad, and my mentor said, "Oh, when it snows, we do this, do that, and then we make money. We sell lemonade when it is summer and all that. Do I have to also sell lemonade here in Ghana?
No,
Because
you have
my
to sell
mentor said
asana.
I'll have to sell something else. So I have to think about what my mentor has said, not just take whatever he says at face value. So it goes for mentors, for influencers, for pastors, for politicians. Don't just take everything at face value.
Okay, that sounds good. So, the next question: according to this idea, is an idiot someone uneducated or someone uncurious?
Like I explained already, education gives you information, but curiosity keeps your mind active. Being educated, you can still be an idiot because, yes, you can be educated and still not be curious, you know. But someone who is not educated and is very curious is going to be, or to me, it's more reasonable than you who is educated and not curious. You don't want to ask questions. You don't want to understand how and why something works the way it works. All you know is we were taught in school this, and then that is all I know. And I had a I graduated first class in school, so because I knew this. But do you really understand it? That is the question.
Afamanunya.
Yes. So yes, you can be educated and still be an idiot.
Exactly.
Once you are not curious, you're an idiot.
Idiot. Hmm. He's really interesting.
Yeah.
Can smart, educated people still fall into this category?
Yes, absolutely. See, smart, educated people are more likely to be the ones to fall under this
This
category
category.
because you know you are smart. So with that knowledge of being smart, you might not want to get curious, or you'd feel like, I already know this. I don't even need to delve deep into it to get more insight on it because I'm smart and I'm educated. So yeah, they actually have a high tendency of falling under this category.
Okay. At what point does following the crowd become intellectual surrender?
At the point where you stop thinking, at the point where you stop coming up with ideas, or you stop asking why and how, that is where you have just given up your intellectuality. I don't know if that's a word, but that is when you've given up or you ceased being an intellectual, because what makes you an intellectual is you being curious. So yes, following the crowd doesn't make you curious, and at that very point, that is when you lose your sense of intellectuality. Or yeah, let me just put it that way.
All right. Why do we think people prefer comforting lies over uncomfortable truth?
Because people hate to be challenged, or people hate to be thrown off their course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Generally, we have grown to become lazier. So if something is uncomfortable, it's hard for humans to sit with that discomfort. So we like to comfort ourselves. We like to keep ourselves in a bubble. That is where the whole concept of um, death being just life being just another a step, okay? Or there is this saying, I don't really know how it goes, but it's like the life we are living is a journey. We are just passing through, and in order to move on in this life, you have to die. That is a comforting lie that we are being told, because it helps you sit with that comfort that, oh, okay, so death is not even that bad. Death is just something that has to happen for you to reach a higher point in life. Okay. But the moment you open up to people and you tell them that, look, once you die, you are dead. There is no consciousness. You don't get to eat. You don't get to pee, poop, do anything you want to do again. Once you die, you are dead. People don't want to accept that. Okay. So people want to live with the comfortable lives because it gives them that solace. Okay. It gives them that peace of mind to know that they are living in a lie rather than to know the truth, and then it haunts them. You get it? Yeah.
So can I say, for example, being loyal to a political party, despite you know the opposition party is doing well, but because you don't want to sell out, you understand, you can accept comfortable lies
Over
over the actual
uncomfortable truth.
truth.
Yes, you can. In a political sense, uh, let's yes, it makes sense that way. In a it makes sense that way because people like to live in a bubble, like I already explained.
Yeah, like we
So
already
if
said.
if you if you take it in a political way, maybe my party is terrible or my party was terrible when they were in government, and I know my party was terrible, and then the new party has come and then they are making changes, and they are leveling up. They are actually developing the country. They are helping us with a lot of things.
Good policies and stuff.
Yes, I would sit down and create this perception in my mind that, oh, it was this man, or it was Akufo-Addo who came and then he messed things up. So when Bawumia comes, it's going to actually be better. That's an uncomfortable truth that no, that's a comforting lie that we
Like
tell
you are
ourselves
telling
so that you
ourselves.
you be okay with it, that yeah, we can still vote for Bawumia to come. I'm saying that whoever votes for Bawumia to come back in power is an idiot. In fact, you're a fool. You think that way because he came the first time and couldn't do anything. He came with a 90-year-old man, and then he that was young couldn't even think for himself. He was being controlled here and there because he was making money out of it.
Exactly, and he
So
comes out to
and
tell
then
us
now
lies.
you come back and you tell us that, oh, now your boss is out, so we should give you the steering wheel. You've learned how to steal from the man, so you are coming to finally destroy us. You get it?
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
that really makes sense. Have you ever caught yourself avoiding a truth because it threatens your identity or belief?
Yes, I have. You see, when a belief becomes part of your identity, questioning it feels like a personal attack
Attack, exactly.
because you see, you know, okay, you believe that your religion is the best. Nobody thinks their religion is worse.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm a Muslim, and I believe so much that my religion is the
The
best.
best.
And someone comes to tell me Christianity is the best, or Christians are better than Muslims. I won't sit down to think of anything, like to think of how rational that person's opinion is.
Is.
Rather, I would feel attacked because now I'm not going to see it as the person's belief anymore. I'm going to see it as you are attacking my identity as a Christian or as a Muslim. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So maybe, or let me just put it hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
Muslims are better than Christians, or Muslims are the real religion and Christians are not. Just
Mm.
hypothetically.
Yeah.
If a Muslim confronts me to tell me that their religion is the real one, and then we Christians are not real and we are going to end up in hell and all that, because of how I grew up and then what I grew up learning, You see, my knowledge throughout my life has become part of me, so it has become my identity. So the Christianity is now my identity. The moment it is being questioned, I feel attacked. Do you get it?
All right. So, how much does ego get in the way of a real thinking?
A lot. In fact, it happens more than we like to admit.
Mhm.
Because you see, instead of asking, is this true? We like to ask, what does this say about me? Because now that is our ego. Our ego is telling us this information, if you accept it, is going to hurt who you are, or
Who
it's
you
going
are?
to tarnish your reputation.
Station.
As a Christian, someone comes to point out some errors in the Bible or some wrongdoings of Christians, or yes, some wrongdoings in the Bible, right? You're not going to want to sit down to wonder,
Debate or
yeah, like, okay, is this true? But you're going to be thinking, if I accept that, oh yeah, the Bible has mistakes, da 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 da
people
da.
will tag you to
Yeah, people
be.
will be like, even this guy who is a Christian, he knows that the Bible has mistakes.
Yeah.
You get it? So the Bible is always wrong. But then the Muslim will tell you, oh, the Quran doesn't have any mistake. This, that. You know, the Quran is the perfect book of God. And then they point out to you, a Christian, that the Bible has mistakes. And instead of admitting that, yeah, the Bible has flaws, because you know it is going to tarnish your reputation as a Christian, you don't accept
You
it.
don't
Your ego
accept it.
sits there and tells you, nah, the Bible can never have any flaw.
Any flaw
It's the word of
because
God and
it's
it's
the word of God.
perfect.
But anything written by a human, there's
It's
always a mistake
flawful.
with it.
Exactly.
That's true. So, do people defend ideas because they are true or because they are their ideas?
And people like to defend ideas more often because they are their ideas. Simply because it's hard for you to let go of something that you have believed in and you have been indoctrinated
Dead
in.
in.
So, an idea that is yours or something you have believed in your whole life is going to be hard for someone to tell you something else or tell you otherwise for you to believe. You're going to, even though what the person is saying is the truth, you are still going to want to take what you know
You know
already.
already.
Okay, that is why it's hard to debate with certain people who are so
Shallow minded.
shallow minded and also so in depth
Stuck. Yeah.
into religion, right? There are people who have concentrated themselves in this religious stuff to a higher level,
Level
to
to
the
the
point
extent.
where you want to have a healthy conversation with them, but they are defending their concept because it is theirs.
Yeah.
Like, not because what you are saying is, or what you are saying might be true. They are going to defend it because it is my idea. This is what I believe. This is what I stand by.
So, how dangerous is it when identity replaces reasoning?
It is extremely dangerous. The reason be, let me get into the religious aspect. Please, my religious friends, I'm not really attacking religion only, but it's going to be a mixture of everything: religion, school, politics. So let's just, please bear with me. But it's extremely dangerous when identity replaces reasoning,
Yeah.
because you see, we look at an identity and then we tell ourselves this person is of a higher level, right? This person is, or this person identifies as this. Let me use a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Pastors are revered by Christians, and so they are seen to be like
Close
high
to
and
God.
mighty. So when a pastor comes up with a concept that everybody should contribute 10,000 cedis by the end of the month, or by mid year, okay, maybe somewhere May, June,
Yeah.
everybody should contribute 10,000 cedis.
Mm.
People are not going to ask, why are we contributing 10,000 cedis? But yes, the pastor said you should contribute 10,000 cedis, so let me just contribute my 10,000
Yeah.
cedis.
Without knowing the reason behind it.
The pastor has told you to contribute 10,000 cedis. God says you should contribute 10,000 cedis. When you contribute that 10,000, or when you bring that 10,000 cedis as offering, he's going to multiply it into your account or into your pocket. God is not a magician. God doesn't do magic tricks.
That's good. That's investment.
If God wants to multiply your money, He would rather tell you to hold on to your 10,000 cedis and then show you what to go and do with the 10,000 cedis to multiply it,
Exactly.
not to give it to another man and then he will later multiply it for you. Where is he going to get it to multiply for you in the first place?
Exactly.
Now that is identity replacing reasoning, because instead of you sitting down to think of what this pastor has said, you are going to rather be thinking who he is, that he has said what he has said.
Thinking maybe it's God that gave him the direction.
And no, he's a pastor, so if he says it, you don't even have to ask questions. So you've stopped reasoning, but you've replaced it with his identity as a man of God.
Exactly. How much does ego get in the way of real thinking?
Ego always gets in the way of real thinking, and it's to a higher degree because people are full of ego. Okay, and so sometimes when you have to really think of something because of who you are or your so it goes back to the identity thing. Who you are or who you identify as would blind you to thinking about something in an in-depth way. So for me, I'm an artist, I'm a painter, I make paintings for people. If someone invites me today that come and make a painting of me in my house, okay, and then that person is not an artist, a businessman, and then I start making the painting for this man, and then he comes to tell me, oh, don't you think you should add a little bit more red to this mixture so that it would brighten the tone here? I'm going to feel like, wait, are you coming to teach me my job today? Do you get it? Like, are you coming to teach me what to do? Because you're not a painter. How are you going to tell me to add more red to get something more? Are you following?
Yeah.
So my ego is just going to get in the way. It's just going to replace real thinking, where I'm going to be like, okay, what this man is saying is actually true. The brown I wanted was light, but if I add a little bit of red, the brown would darken or it will look deeper, and it's going to be what the result we are looking for. But because I don't want to think for myself, or because my ego is at stake, I feel like, nah, let me put this man in his place. Are you following? Yeah. So instead of you thinking of what the person has said that you do, you are rather going to prove to the person that you know what you are doing
more.
Yes.
Because it's your job.
Because it's your job or it's your field.
Exactly. So does the education system train thinkers or followers?
The education system trains followers because it's hard to be a curious mind in our kind of education system due to the people who created the education system for us in the first place. So this is not actually the education system we would have created for ourselves if we were to create an education system for ourselves. This was created for us by oligarchs, people who want to control the system. So yes, our education system says you go to school in the morning, you have break in the afternoon, you continue learning, and then you close. Or you have first break, after that you have the second break, and then you need to listen to the bell to change lesson. You listen to the bell to go for break. You listen to the bell to close. So all these things are programming. This is an alarm that they are setting for you. They are programming you into a system. So our education system is training followers. When the teacher teaches you something, you go with what the teacher has said. If you try to come up with your own concept, that still means what the teacher is saying is wrong. Know anything. Because there is now a marking scheme that the teacher is following to mark. So if your answer falls out of range of that marking scheme, then you are wrong. So yes, we are training followers and not thinkers.
That's sad. Are we rewarded more for obedience than curiosity?
Yes, we are rewarded more for obedience than curiosity in most systems. In the education system, we are rewarded more for obedience. You see, the reason is that obedience is predictable, okay, and very easy to manage. When someone is obedient, you know what the person is up to. You know what the person is going to do. You know what the person is up to. It's very predictable and easy to manage. But when somebody is curious,
Want to know, want to
you
ask
don't know where the
questions.
person is going to come from, or the
Exactly.
question is going to come from,
That's
or what
what.
angle this person is going to come from.
Exactly.
So nobody likes to be caught off guard. So our system doesn't reward curiosity, it rather rewards obedience. Right.
So our last question for this segment: at what point does memorization replace understanding?
Memorization replaces understanding when you stop asking why and how. This happens gradually actually, and you see, you learn, you chew, and then you
And
pour.
poor. It's
So
different from learning
from
to understand.
understanding it. So you see, it's a whole process, it's a whole cycle where even in school you are taught to chew and pour, chew and pour.
Mm,
So we don't really have an understanding of what we are up to or what we are doing. Okay,
yeah.
we are rather producing answers because we just want to keep going in the school. Like I want to
What
complete fast. So exams come, just learn the answers, produce the answers. After exams, you've forgotten what answers you even placed on the paper. Did you
and that is
memorize or do
gone.
you understand? You just memorize to produce.
And
And then
that
that
is
is gone
gone.
forever.
So our fellow viewers, we have come to the end of the second episode of Apocalypse of Idiot. And it's getting to the interesting part, and I urge everyone to keep up with us to get to the end of this. Thank you so much, and see you in the next section. Peace.